Yes,
Hi
good morning.
Z, how are you doing?
Very good.
Hey Sinlin.
Hello, hi Christian.
Hi, okay, let's start. So first of all, thanks everyone for joining us on our second series of webinar. This time our team is shifting your careers into Web3 or crypto. So we have two speakers today. The first speaker is Sinlin Yeo. Sinlin, she is the head of product design at Web3 Off. She has over 4 years of experience in the Web3 space. She was the founding designer and she designed for multiple B2C and B2B products. She's someone who values hands-on experience. So she actually occasionally takes on UX challenges and came up as one of the top 30 finalists out of 700 people from the Shopee Product and Design Challenge back in 2021. So welcome, Sinlin. Thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Now, great. Now we have a second speaker, Z1. So Z, he is the product marketing lead who creates tailored marketing strategies for Bybit globally. He has worked in the digital and growth marketing area for about 10 years. Previously, he worked in e-commerce, scaling performance marketing, before he takes a leap of faith to build the entire Bybit growth marketing stack from ground up. Finally, he transitioned into a more product and user-centric segment to increase crypto adoption for the mass market. So welcome, Z. So thanks, Z. Thanks, Sinlin, for being our speakers today. I think both of you have successfully moved into the crypto and Web3 space many years ago, way before crypto was massively adopted globally. So today, I guess it'd be really good to hear from the both of you directly. How was your journey like, and how do you transition into this space? So there'll be a few parts to our webinar today. First part, we will talk about hiring trends, market salary, what are the hot positions in the market right now, basically anything about the market. Then part two, we'll talk about personal branding, resume readiness, interview tips. And the last part, we will leave about 15 to 20 minutes at the end of the session for some question and answer, Q&A. So this time round, I'm not too sure if all of you are aware, but we are also giving away 2 NFTs. So how we're gonna select the NFT winners for this webinar is that we will choose the best questions by the audience today. Cindy, she will pick a winner, and Z, he will pick a winner. So as we go through the entire webinar, please feel free, start writing your questions in the chat box on Zoom, and then we will go through the question at the end of the session. Yeah. So let's start. First of all, either to both of you, how do you get a job in crypto or Web3?
I can start first. So it was by chance. I was organizing events for ICO back in 2018, where people are launching tokens. So after that, we transitioned as a company from a blockchain consultant to a blockchain product. That's where it all started.
Nice. And how about you, Z?
Yeah, so actually it's funny, it's also by chance. I was thinking about that this past week too. It's really, it's actually has a similar vibe to where we are today. It was just right before the pandemic, the news was out. So a lot of companies were shutting down, like hiring freeze. And then at that point I was like, at that point I want to transition my career, and this job popped out of nowhere. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's see where it goes.
Nice. So looks like we are in a pretty similar time as how you transitioned to crypto a few years back. When was that? Which year was it? Just curious.
2020, around, I joined June 2020. So,
Okay.
if you look at the interview process, right? Like I was interviewing April to May and then got a job. And then, so it was just right when COVID got global. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's hope here, everyone, that if you're determined enough and you are there looking out, you will find the right job. So, Sinlin, are there any difference in working in crypto or rather for yourself in Web3 versus traditional companies, or rather the Web2?
Definitely. I would say the most stark difference would be the pace that the Web3 companies are moving at. One day you're in, the next day you might be out. Today we're talking about NFT, but right now people are just talking about dynamic NFTs. So there's a lot of things to catch up. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, besides the trends evolving very quickly, how about the pace in terms of working? Like, how long does it take for you to ship out your product versus, you know, what you've experienced in the past?
It's also fast paced, like how the industry is moving, because if we don't move fast, then we might find the product or features being obsolete by the time we push out.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Z, and yourself? Do you experience the same, or?
Yeah, actually, I could. Yeah, that's one of the top comment I was actually agree is the pace. I thought I was in a very fast pace before joining joining crypto space, but I was really wrong. The pace, and I would echo about today's topic of Web3 a little bit. The whole premise of decentralization. You rewrite and own the content. So this kind of like plus the speed of internet right now, and everyone has a phone globally, right? It makes information change even faster than ever. So I would definitely say all these factors makes this a very different space. You have to just get used to it. It's to various degrees, like learning a new sports. The first 100 days is gonna be the hardest, right? Like you don't know what your muscles are doing. Your muscle memory is probably telling you to do this, but then in reality, stop doing it.
Cool. I mean, besides pace, is there any other major differences that either one of you could share with us and the audience today?
Yes, I could share. In Web3, I think there is a lot of uncertainty. You do not know what kind of terms or technology you're dealing with. So there's a lot of research that needs to be done. You need to be open for conversation with colleagues all the time. Whereas for Web2, it's standard. You follow this protocol or process and everything just gets done.
All right, great, cool. Now that leads me to the next question. I think what I experienced on the search side. So just to introduce myself as well, I forgot to do so earlier. I'm part of research. We do search, or rather we specialize in recruiting into crypto, blockchain, and Web3. So, I mean, throughout the past 6 months, the team here, we have been really busy with all sorts of mandates in Singapore and in the region itself. So I would say hiring was still very hot this year. Could both of you share what type of roles were you guys hiring beginning of this year, or for the first 6 months of the year?
For us, we were hiring mainly developers, be it mobile developers or software engineers, as well as UX or product designers. And then we have like operations or marketing role to be filled as well.
For my side, it was a pretty interesting journey. I mean, like we went from a small to mid-sized company in a span of 1 year. So it was anywhere between growth roles, you name it, pay marketing, organic SEO, and to content writers and data analysts, MarTech, stack, email, you name the whole growth roles. Those are all we will hire. I mean, I was hiring for those roles, so it was really exciting to be able to put your hands on so many different roles and learn what they do.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So looks like it was a pretty good market this year. So can either of you, or I guess both of you, kind of advise how does crypto or Web3 pay? I mean, does crypto or Web3 pays well compared to Web2, perhaps? And if so, what kind of like salary ranges are you guys seeing in the market? Z? Z, I think you're muted.
Oh, there we go, there we go. That I couldn't unmute just now. It's one of the $1 million question. Yes, I truly believe during my time, 2 years, this is probably one of the most lucrative space for a while until recently. But this still does. It still do, few of the main firms still hiring, exchanges still hiring, and salary ranges. I would say I come from traditional e-commerce. I wouldn't say traditional e-commerce, just e-commerce. They are very willing to take people, willing to take the risk, right? Like all this company knows that in order to create top talents, and for the risk part, they will just add a 20%, 30% premium depending on your job scope, right? So whatever the regular space does, the Web3 space would give a little premium, and that's from a big firm. I think from a smaller, medium-sized one, they will probably give you some incentive like tokens and other equities, right? And those are, I would just say, those are like 2000 era where the big tech company giving you more stock options. So I think that's how you put some perspective into it.
Yeah, great. I think I personally experienced as well, looking at offers ranges between 20% and above being quite common in the market, especially within the bigger guys, the big crypto exchanges and stuff like that. And I mean, you also kind of points out, really accurately, that the smaller firms might not pay so much cash, but often they compensate with equity, tokens, long-term incentives. So, Sinlin, you are in the Web3 space, right? I think your company size is a little bit different from Z. So, would you mind just to share a little bit more? What kind of salary ranges do you guys offer in the market? Do you guys pay well, or just Web3 in general? Does Web3 pays well?
Yes, it does, especially for developers, experienced developers, because they are very high in demand and low in supply. Those mainly about 3 to 5 years of experience. They are called the pros, and they are very high in demand. And they are being paid, I would say, the offer is about like 500,000 if they are that skillful.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about USD right here? Or
yes.
Oh wow, total comp.
Yes.
Okay.
Like people are willing to pay like 500,000 USD just to get the very senior developers on their team. And for a startup like us, we are looking for developers, and our range would be less competitive compared to the big players out there who can offer so much. But I have, on our job portal, we do state that, for example, like an Android developer, you would get 70K to 150K with equity ranging from 0.01% to 0.05%. Yeah.
Wow. Looks like both of you are in the right field, I suppose, in a lucrative market. Just curious. I mean, like Z, Sinlin, both of you kind of pointed out that there's a lot of demand, but the supply is really little, and you guys are really willing to pay at the top of the range for a very good developer or maybe a very good marketeer. I'm just curious. Often even on my side, we do find candidates without the industry experience. They might come from e-commerce background or any kind of internet companies or big tech companies kind of background. What kind of salary ranges would you guys typically offer to candidates outside of the industry who wanting to join?
I would say developers, it's still competitive, and we are open if they do not have experience. And it's as long as they have the interest to learn and grow. That's what's more important. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same, and even if you want to spend more initiative, you might actually get paid more. Especially in a startup, it's all about initiative. So you direct how much you're worth once you join the firm.
Okay, so you can kind of negotiate your pay after you join and proven yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective. How about you, Z? What have you seen?
So I think the bottom line is kind of what Shilin just said, right? Like you still need to factor in the years of experience and that. So there's two tracks, right? One is the total years of experience in particular field, whether that field demanding. So for growth marketing, like for example, right? Like I think growth marketing is almost like Web3, a very new term. So we look at how much you have done in paid marketing, how organic marketing, and how you have your experience in small, medium-sized companies, so you know how to scale a company, right? And then the next thing is if you have some crypto background, you've got a small project, consulting project, or show that initiative, right? What Shane just really important, showing that initiative, right? You're curious. That's what you get rewarded for. With those, I would say the range, if you really give a range, right, is are we talking about like maybe 5 years above at least?
Maybe. Yeah, let's take 5 years as a benchmark. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
5 to 8 years.
Yeah, I think like 100K and above is really easy, right? 5K and above. I've seen even higher than that. And I think the easiest way to look at it, and then that's 100K not for developer, right? Like everyone knows developers, tech people are very expensive. But for me as a marketer, most of my life, that this kind of range is very competitive for somebody around 5 years experience, right? And then 7, 8, you can go all the way up to 200K pretty easily with the right experience. Yeah.
Okay, just curious. I mean, you mentioned just now that the range or the salary increment that you guys usually offer to candidates, or what you have seen in the market, could be between the range of 20 to 30%. Would you still offer this range for someone that doesn't come with crypto experience, as in doesn't come with professional experience? But they put in the time and hours, like a side hustle to learn about industry? Would you kind of like offer that kind of range to someone who wants to join the industry but doesn't have the relevant experience, as in the professional experience?
I would say it depends on the pool of candidates that apply. If somebody that have similar skills and they are more keen and they read up themselves to prove their interest in the field, then probably the ones who just wants to come in and learn might stand a less chance for those who already took the initiative to read out the company, read up about the tech.
Right. So that's really good to hear from the both of you. So it looks like, I guess, for anyone, if you want to join this industry, just take some initiative, learn about the company you're applying to. I think on the search side, often I find that sometimes candidates doesn't research enough to the company they're applying to. Maybe they're overwhelmed with a lot of interviews, a lot of companies. But strongly encourage anyone, if you're really serious about joining a particular company, do your research, learn about them. I mean, you're going to come across really well during interview. You can articulate about the products they are offering, and then even though you might not necessarily have the right experience, I think it's the attitude that kind of like convince hiring managers like Z or Sinlin to say, hey, I should just take a bet on you. Even if you don't have the experience, you can come and join my team. So thanks both for sharing that. So I'm gonna touch on really sensitive topic right now. Not say sensitive, but I think topic of the town at the moment. As we all know, Wall Street is in a bear market right now. People in the crypto industry says that crypto winter is here. It just started. There are some job cuts announced globally. For example, Coinbase is cutting about 1,100 jobs globally, and that's about 18% of their global workforce. Crypto.com as well, they're going to cut like about 5% of their workforce. So with all these job cuts happening in the market right now, I guess it kind of creates a lot of uncertainty and amongst candidates who were intending to join the industry. So Sinlin, I mean, what's your personal, I mean, not speaking on behalf of your company, but what's your personal opinion of this? Why is this happening?
I would say like for the companies involved, if they want to grow, they would have certain roadmaps and they factor in certain manpower to reach that goal. And probably when the market slow down, then their roadmap might be more flexible and they don't need that manpower to meet that timeline. Hence, they're okay with just cutting down or even like taking back the offer. However, like I speak for my company on this, some of us are quite happy because we are having trouble hiring developers. So when we heard about this, then we go like, oh, let's go grab them because like their offers are not going through and we need this talent anyway. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. How about you, Z? What have you seen?
Yeah, so I kind of comment that in my intro to like smaller middle-sized firms are still hiring, which is awesome. But for us, a bigger organization will need to make some reorganization to make the team more efficient, right? And I really want to make sure that this is not just isolating crypto, right? This is a pretty big economic crisis that's heading downward trend, right? Like myself, I've been through at least one recession too, I guess. And you're looking at the macro level, right? Like there's a war, the pandemic never really got fixed, a lot of things going on. So all things aside, a simple economic term, supply and demand, there's just not that much demand for, in terms of the kind of product that the Web3 is delivering at the moment. So once that goes down, then the company will make some adjustment to accommodate these changes. If anything, I think it's exciting. Once all this company knows what efficiency they can improve, then they will restart the hiring, right? Right now, it's just like everyone has so many accounts in the last year. I mean, Coinbase, us, we double and triple in headcounts in less than 1 year. It was crazy.
Yeah, triple headcounts. Okay, wow, that's good to know. I mean, so now what's going to happen then? I mean, what I hear on the street is that this just started. It might take a year. It might take to the end of next year. Nobody knows how long this is going to take. So what's your outlook of the market? When do you think company will start hiring again? Again, this is just based on you being in the industry and your own personal opinion of this.
To me,
yeah, either one of you.
Yeah.
So what's your outlook?
Okay, maybe I'll start this time. I'm a realist. I think it is tough from anyone that's looking into this space right now. I wouldn't trying to sugarcoat it. But at the same time, what I noticed already is depending on type of roles, surprisingly, a certain sector of roles are just not a lot of people willing to jump. So we still have certain teams that just cannot fill the headcounts. It's really weird. But for certain roles, generalist roles, those are easier to fill out because a lot of people know those skills, right? Specific technical roles, writing quality content, things like that, and very niche market roles. There's still some demands down the road once you get fixed up. But overall, yeah, I think it's hard to predict, but I would say 3 to 6 months to fix itself is needed, given that how fast everything are coming down. But keep optimistic. Like I'm looking at this comment section already. Like you can join like a DAO, right? Like there's so many little organizations opening, still having capacity to hire. Yeah.
Great. And Sinlin, what's your view then? You mentioned that this is a good time, and your company is like, yes, let's get some good developers out there. So what's your outlook of the market?
I would say from startup point of view, once we close the positions available, then you can see that lesser and lesser startups are hiring because they are like maxing out their capacity. Then probably it's gonna take a while because the big players out there will have to get the ball rolling and get the products pushed before hiring starts again. So yeah, it's like a while stock last kind of phase.
Okay, interesting. So I mean to the both of you as well, my next question is there any more growth in this industry? Do you see
meaning-
further growth happening in this industry? It could be after the bear market is over. I mean, so yeah, what's your view of definitely? Why so?
Because I'm very invested in the space. So right now, people who are very passionate about it, what they do is they say like, just filter out the noise and keep building. And when the market is ready, people will start coming back again. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. And Z, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way to compare, right? We talk about Web3 today to one of the topics. Look at Web2, right? Like the survivors of Web2 during the dot-com bubble are the biggest company that we know of today, right? Amazon, PayPal, all these are survivors, right? If you look at them, that this is a great time to consolidate, reduce some of the noise and make great products. And if anything, now is the opportunity to learn and get your hands dirty. So when the demand comes back in, you'll be ready, right? And yeah, I'm pretty excited too. I'm also very invested myself. So we're a little biased here, but at the same time, it's like look at the grand scheme of things, right? Like what other industry right now are looking for this kind of growth, potential growth, right? There's not a lot like traditional finance and traditional pharmacies, medication, and all that. These are like two big, I would say two big industries that will get innovated, and finance, that's part of the Web3 space. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, great to know. I guess that makes three of us. I'm also personally invested in this space as well. Would definitely like to see the market come back up again. I guess, taking, the takeaway points from the both of you is that very much do believe in the industry. There certainly will be growth areas. It might be limited during this bear market, but I guess it's not a bad time either, right? Because the market is going to consolidate and the weaker player is going to be they're going to be kicked out of the market. They'll slowly diminish off, and then the stronger players is going to come up much more stronger. And I guess that's going to give a lot more confidence to anyone who's entering the industry, because there's so much noises. There's a lot of noise. People not too sure what projects they should choose, which one's going to survive, which one will die. So this whole consolidation of the market. It just gives a much greater confidence for anyone to join when the market comes back up. So thank you so much for the both of you to really, share, your thoughts. I know these are not the easiest questions to answer, but thank you so much for, sharing honestly in terms of like, what do you think? Okay. I'm not too sure if this kind of relate to my earlier question, but feel free to add on if you have, more things to say about this. Would you still advise people to move into the industry, and why?
I personally would not do like a advice for people to move into the industry. I think it has to come from their own interest. That's where they see like a match in what they're looking for in their career, as well as believing in the mission or vision of the company they want to join. That's more like a better fit instead of advising people to come on board.
I totally echo that. In fact, if you're looking at back to the beginning of this meeting, right, what I'm looking for when I'm hiring is looking for committed people. And this consolidation is just going to be basically get rid of people that are not committed. I don't want to say in a bad way, but it makes your job, it makes your life easier. That's the way I tell people. Like, if you don't like something, doesn't matter how much money we paid you, you're gonna not like it. You're gonna start complaining, and you're gonna be like, I don't want to show up to work tomorrow, right? With the working from home culture too, it's really hard mentally. And I'm a big advocate for mental health, right? If you're not having a good time, you do something else. Money is not going to help you. You can't pay enough for all the medical bills that's coming up, right? Like take care of yourself and really, see this as fun, exciting, to some way sexy industry, I think, and have the commitment and ride this out 1 or 2 years and see where it goes.
Great. Thank you so much. So I think, really, really good advice from the both of you. I think now we want to get to something more. We're going to move to part 2 right now. We'll talk, we'll focus more on like personal branding, resume readiness, interview tips, something more practical as well for anyone to kind of apply to, for them if they were to consider joining this industry. So either one of you, what do you guys look out for on a resume? Z or Sinlin? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can start first. Something that would really stand out is candidates coming from our competitors. So if you have our competitors' name listed, then booms, there you go. Like we'll be like keen to talk to you. But other than that, I would say something more practical. It's the impact that you have made with other companies that you come from or your experience previously. And for designers especially, it comes from the range of portfolio you have, as well as the skills that fits what we are looking for. For example, if we are looking for design system, then we are looking at somebody with the experience in setting up the whole design system for the team. And also if you fit the startup culture, because a small startup runs very different from a bigger firm. And we have a lot of uncertainty in terms of complex problems that you have to solve, and you must be outspoken enough to clarify some of the questions or scope of work that you are being tasked to do.
That's great. That's great. I think there's a lot of tips in there. Hard skills, soft skills, both are really important. How about you, Z? What on a resume that would stand out for you?
Yeah, personally, I also want to share that, I learned this the hard way. I think what I was looking for, the people that I was hiring in the beginning of my journey versus now is like two different types of people. So why, the reason being is it's really just, you're looking for someone that's really ready to roll up their sleeve and have that excitement, have the energy, the commitment, wanting to try something new. That's one. I think through that on the resume, how you can put that is side projects, other curriculums, certification you've taken that are relevant to the field that you're applying, right? Like one thing I think one of the questions was, for growth marketing, Reforge, if you're in that series, I kind of know that you're pretty committed to this space. And then, additionally, it's just right now, like decentralized organization, you can join those any time of the day, right? You can, go to conference, meeting people, networking. If all those are in your resume, you can speak off. That'd be great. But outside of that, simple. I'm a data guy. Look at the job, right? Designer, looking for designer portfolios. I hope that the job you're applying, at least you have one or two, the showcase of what you did in this industry and how you can solve other problems with your successful case, right?
Yeah. I think you kind of touched on my next question as well. You mentioned like some professional certificates, some kind of courses you have done on the side. It's good to put it on your resume. Some of the side hustle, conferences, it's good to put on your resume as well. I mean, I guess a lot of people are really curious because I did speak to a lot of candidates that want to join the industry. They're not too sure how to get started. And some of them, they went on some courses, whether it's on LinkedIn or, some online courses to increase their knowledge in blockchain or anything related to crypto. But just curious, you both of you are the hiring manager. Does professional certificates, are professional certificates important? Like, would that make a difference for you to say, hey, I want to interview the candidate versus, hey, that's okay? So are professional certificates important? I mean, should people go on courses and put that on their resume? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I can start with this one, just following up my train of thought here. I think at the end of the day, from a hiring manager perspective, right, this is the same across any industry or anywhere. We're looking for a narrative, a story, right? Like if you come to me and say, hey, I'm interested in joining Bybit, because sounds cool. I mean, okay, then where the conversation goes, right? Come to me with a narrative that you already tried, learn something about Web3 or anything that's exciting out there. And then during your trial and error lesson, you discover that you want to specialize in one or two areas. And then you come to me and relate that story back to what Bybit can offer to you or any other company can offer to you. And then doubling down that interest, right? Then I would say, okay, you come prepared, one, you know what you want to do, so you're actually excited at your work, so I don't have to tell you every day what you need to do, right? And then lastly, you're proactive, really showing that proactiveness that you are a problem solver. That's what we're looking for. That's it. That's what the certification are really there for. It's not a college degree. I mean, we all have college degrees. Like, even you don't have a college degree, it's fine. That's exciting about Web3. I think this is one of the current field that you don't have to be like going to the database of some big companies, right? You just work for big companies. How you find resumes, you go to the database and looking for keywords, right? Amazon, Google, right? Looking for this keyword in the resume base. We don't do that here. We just look at some resume and then determine if that's the right fit and move on. It's awesome. Yeah.
Great. Sinlin, anything to add on for this question?
I completely agree in terms of the storytelling part for like certificates out there. If something to add on, it's I would say the part about storytelling through your achievements, I would say, because for Web3, for example, developers, there is this like hack to hire. So instead of looking for a job, why don't you just show them your skills by going to a hackathon, put on some project, and then that's where you can just walk the talk instead of listing down how many certificates you have.
Right. Thank you so much, both of you. I think your answers kind of covered the next few questions that I have already, and cautious of time as well. I'm just going to quickly wrap up this session, and then we can quickly move to a Q&A. Okay, I think this is something that I'm really curious about, and I think a lot of people, are wondering also, what type of questions do you guys ask during interview? What type of questions do you typically ask during interview?
Okay, yeah. I think so. I always ask star questions. I even tell the candidate, don't get nervous. This is just chat. Walk me through a couple cases that you did, right? A project, anything, and walk me through what you did and what was the impact and what problem you solved. I'm not here to do anything tricky, right? Like, I think this is already out there. As a hiring manager, the worst thing is we're trying to trick you, right? Like, we're just trying to build this relationship in under 30 minutes, right? So just tell us what you did, and very logically and with impact, right? And we at least know your business acumen is there. That's one. And then two, just really making sure that your stakeholder management case is also up there. We know that, hey, there's uncertainties, how you handle people. So it's technical and soft skill, one or two cases.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of emphasis on soft skills there. So just you mentioned STAR, isn't it? So it stands for situation, task, action, and results. So guys, I think you guys need to write down this big tip: situational question, address the question using this STAR approach. Thanks a lot, Z. Good tip. And Sinlin, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I agree with what Z just mentioned. To add on for that, it's for me personally, I will ask the candidate what are they looking for in their next role, and what kind of growth they are looking for in terms of as a designer, because we appreciate their skills. We want them to grow with us. So just want to understand like what's their personal goal for themselves and whether it aligns with what the team has, so they don't get a shock when they join and realize that it's not a good fit.
Okay, so my next question is, now you have answered what do you want to find out or what do you ask during interview. Is there any red flags, whether it's on the resume or interview? What sort of red flags that you have seen in the course of your hiring process? What are those? Can you share some with us?
I would say for designers, the red flag would come from having name drop, like projects that you work on. However, you don't have any examples and you're unable to walk through any of them. And that's a huge red flag of how exactly you contributed to the team, to the design, to the product. Yeah.
Cool. Z?
Similar. A lot of people put on resumes like I completed a project. I'm like, okay, you completed something. I mean, I guess that's the bare minimum for your job, right? Tell me a little bit what you complete and why do you think it's important, right? Like at least show me some data, show me some what thought behind it. So it's a red flag is not be able to answer a question straight. Trying to deviate from a question, and then all of a sudden there's no logic. There's one one kind of like watching a movie. Instead of like one character developing, you all of a sudden gave me 10 characters in this plot, and I'm so confused. That's one. And then I think the other thing too is really kind of this whole theme here going on today, right? Like when you simply ask them, what do you think you can achieve in this company, this position you are applying for, right? If they really didn't think through it, that really shows how little of interest they have. So I think with this consolidation, everyone's got a little bit more picky on the candidates now, and by that it just means that like whether or not this candidate really want to grow with the company a little bit. The last one, here's one kind of a hint is a lot of time when people tell you one of the most successful case or project that they work on, and then I'll ask them the follow-up question. So what could you do differently? You can kind of see how they react to the question sometimes. Some just
That's a great one.
Answer, but some just like, okay, well, and then you kind of like, well, it's kind of like humbling experience that it is never a best case, right? Just like really thinking about, can you improve beyond that situation, and what could you have done differently? Always, right?
Yeah, great. Thanks, guys. Before we move on to the Q&A, just I guess from each of you, just one last question. Lastly, what would be your what would be your advice for any aspiring candidates who wants to join the industry?
I would say no one is ever like ready. So just start at where you are, and then even if you don't get that interview, at least you know what went wrong, or like get some feedback in any form. That's where you make yourself more ready. So don't ever just like keep getting yourself ready and not apply for it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This is funny, even though it's a new industry, but at the same time you look at it just overall, right? Like I myself either interviewed a few hundreds of people in my life, or have interviewed myself a few hundred jobs too as well. So I actually go through phases where I just like go to aggressively interview and really learn what do I want, and understanding what the market wants, and then also what can I offer, right? Inspiring wise, this is really a exciting time. You go through innovation periods, right? The Web 2 was 2000s, right? Like the people that got really, between 2000 and 2020 now, this is the next one, right? So hopefully that you want to be in something exciting and futuristic.
Okay. All right. Thank you both. I do see a lot of questions here from the Q&A. Unfortunately, I don't think we have time to go through every single one of them. I'm going to pick the most relevant question for our two speakers today. So sorry, we can't answer every one of them, but let me see if I can come back to each one of you with answers separately. Okay, I have this question from Wen. Do you think that we are still considered as pioneers to enter the Web3 space?
I would say just ask around your friends. Maybe ask 10 friends, are they into Web3? And you can have a good idea of where you stand in terms of the pioneers.
Very good answer.
Yeah, you are. I mean, the short answer is you are, because now there's still room for innovation, right? You could be developing the next product that's similar to NFT, or like next user-centric solution that's new out there, right? Kind of like the recent SaaS industry boom in the last like 2-3 years, right? It's the same thing. You are innovator. You have a better. I think the easier way is have a better chance of be part of something that's going to be pioneering, and then yeah.
Cool. And now we have a question from Steve Xie. So his question was, in the last application form to Spartan Labs, there's a requirement to join a DAO. Do you think it's necessary? That's the first question. Also, is it necessary to demonstrate that you have purchased crypto, NFT, set up a wallet, etc.? And then there's a third question, or if you are conversant enough about the industry terms, would that be sufficient? So there's 3 questions over here to join a DAO. Number 1, is it necessary? There's 3 questions. Number 1, is it necessary to join a DAO? Number 2, is it necessary to demonstrate you have purchased crypto, NFT, etc.? Number 3, is it okay if someone is conversant but doesn't, but doesn't have any of the above 2, I suppose. So that's the 3 questions.
For me, I think that's the way the company choose to filter their candidates, because everybody wants to save time, and perhaps they might have a list of candidates who wants to join them, and hence they want to filter according to these requirements. But if you're looking at other companies, then maybe it's not necessary. It depends on who you want to join. And demonstrate that you have purchased crypto, NFT, or set up a wallet. I think the whole point of getting you to go through this process is to get you to understand the pain that everyone is going through, because there is a lot of problem solving to be done in the space. There isn't a good fit in terms of product solutions. Everyone's still exploring. So if you feel the pain like them, then yes, like come fight this war together. I think that's what they just want to convey. And conversant enough about the industry term, that would be sufficient. Yes, industry terms keeps evolving, so don't be afraid to just learn on the go.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add on, Zee?
Yeah, for sure. I think the first one, right, it's really a simple business need, right? Like it's depending on the company, and especially now this market too, right? Companies still have to perform, right? There's business needs, so they can't hire someone that's completely have no knowledge and wanting to train this person, taking a risk with this person for the next 6 months to 1 year, right? They need speed. Spartan Labs is one of the prominent players, right? So for them to ask prerequisite experience is very important for them. Demonstrating, purchase crypto, NFT, kind of like Shilin said, right? I think for me it's almost becoming more important. If you're not interested in use the product, I don't think you're not going to be very interested in developing the product or pushing the product, right? Just it's easy, right? There's so many ways to sign up. Most of these things are free, and there's one good site called Rabbit Hole. I would recommend you guys checking out. So there's a lot of self-learning courses on there. Yeah, Rabbit Hole. Yeah, try it out. And then lastly, what was the last question? Hold on. Oh, the terms, the terminology and stuff. I mean, as you're buying stuff, like purchasing stuff, not learning the industry, those terms will come natural, and you as long as the story's there, we wouldn't say that, oh, you spell Ethereum wrong, right? Come in the storyline that you have done your research and you're interested in learning more, and you are doing all that you can to learn more about the industry. Yeah.
Great. So the next question is from a current graduate student. His name is Go Zhi Hui. So he graduated in electrical engineering and computer science, who specializes in vocationally in machine learning. He has gained some rudimentary knowledge of cybersecurity recently. He's interested to know the prospect of engineering or development applications with blockchain in general. So here comes the question. He was wondering if either of you could identify or describe in any way any fields which stood out to you as areas in which blockchain technology is increasingly being embraced. So yeah, I know both of you are not technical specialists. Let me know if if you would like to attend these questions, or maybe we could move on to some other questions.
I would say blockchain technology increasingly being embraced. Yes. Some examples that I can give you is I'm right here at NFT NYC. So firms like Estee Lauder, SAP, or even Coach, the luxury brand, they're actually airdropping NFTs for their customers. And like if you get a Coach NFT, what it entitles you to do is you can customize your own bag, your own handle, the colors of it. So that's those are like interesting use cases that people are already doing it, and maybe because we haven't heard about it, we are not exposed to it that much. We feel like, hey, maybe it's not being embraced yet, but people, companies are already getting started, and the big bosses are pushing the digital experience team to say, hey, look into Web3 and how can we tap onto that.
I think so. I used to work at very technical marketing, and my counterparts are all data scientists and engineer developers to roll out automated marketing solutions. So if you are in electrical engineering and then machine learning, these are the perfect field to build the back end, the backbones of I would say the future of blockchain technology, right? It's really just a data mining field right now. In fact, you can come in and create some new models and make it more useful. World can apply to the real world, right? I think that's the real thing here. Once you can solve those problems, like what Shilin just said, then you become you become big, right? Like so yes, I think if there's any area, just look at this development track, data track on some of these startups and see what kind of job they are offering. At the end of the day, just remember, in Web3, you're going to wear many hats for the next couple of years because we don't have a set of track for you to go. You can come in as a designer one day and at growth marketing the next day, right? It's pretty exciting.
Like almost like a entrepreneurial kind of spirit. I guess that's a common trait as well, that a lot of the clients I work with are looking for, because there's no structured training program, there's no structured career path. But look, there's plenty of opportunities for you to really broaden your skill sets and knowledge if you were to join Web3. Okay, next question. This is from, okay, Steve, I have asked one of your questions. I'm going to skip this one. So this is from Melvin. He's interested to know what are the general requirements for designers, UX, UI, or any design roles of Web3 companies. What are the general requirements? And then second question, he said there's not many design courses or programs involve Web3 tech, or even current designer may not have experience working in Web3 projects. So I think he's interested to know what are the general requirements to join your space, Sinlin.
I think that would be a typical roles and responsibility as a UI and UX designer, being able to conduct research, define problems, provide solutions, and also work in a cross-functional team. It shows that you are a team player and you are ready and confident to clarify an ambiguous problem statement being issued to you in the space.
Cool. Anything to add on, Z? Else I move on to the next one. Okay, sorry, were you saying something? Okay, this is from Traven to everyone. So for those who wish to shift their careers into Web3 or crypto, what other resources would you recommend to learn more and be more knowledgeable about it? So the reason he asked this is because there's just plenty of resources on the internet. He's not too sure how to filter it through. Is there any more trusted source learnings, whether it's from books, YouTube, or any channels at all?
Yeah, so I can start with this one. Twitter, you gotta get on Twitter. Most information show all on Twitter. Now, obviously, there's so many influencers out there. You just really need to kind of comb through a little bit, but most of the time just look through people that are actually like developing products or you know, C-levels. They kind of, you know, they kind of portray some narrative. You just kind of like learn. And then they also Telegram. There's called the Daily Ape by Daryl Lin. He's actually a local Singaporean. Follow him. He posts some of the greatest content on crypto. That's many people knows about it. And then other than that, you just from Twitter on YouTube, definitely YouTube, because that's where how everyone self-learn from some of these contents and everything. Lastly, simply the top I would say follow some of the top exchanges, see what kind of product they're developing, so you kind of understand where the direction is heading.
Great. Sinlin, any more tips from your side?
I would say, like, for my end, what works for me personally, it's plain Googling of terms that just doesn't sound in layman, like you couldn't figure out. And then because we are in a decentralized world, so resources are also decentralized, just look at the most number of views, the most number of upvote, that gets you the most trusted source. And also, yeah, that's about it.
That's great. Okay, so now really last question to everyone is from Xiaohui here. So most crypto companies are still in the startup mode, whereby this phase is important for companies to grow exponentially. In this case, the preferred candidates would be someone who can wear multiple hats. How do you screen them, and how working remotely can empower these people? Then second question, given the crypto space move at such a fast pace, how do companies keep their employees aligned and informed? There are two questions here from Xiaohui.
Screening for people who can wear multiple hats.
Yeah, like how do you identify the right fit for your company, I guess, to put in really layman terms, and also empowering them. Yeah.
So what we do is we realize that sometimes we can have a bad hire. So for a startup, we are pretty flexible. We ask the candidate if they are open to working with us for a week just to try out like the interaction with the whole team. That's where we figure out whether they are capable of wearing multiple hats, whether they are good in conversing with the rest of the team. And how working remotely can empower these individuals. Not sure what this direction steer towards.
Maybe the next question then, how do companies keep their employees aligned and informed? Maybe, I guess, keep them motivated, given that if you're working remotely, you don't get to see your colleagues or even your bosses, staff, you know, face to face. So how do you keep people informed and aligned with your mission?
We do something called Gather Town, where everybody just sign an account on Gather Town, and it's like a game, and you just go there. Once you pass by the person, you can actually hear what they're talking about. It's as though you're physically there. So that's how we keep our employees engaged with each other. And we also have like social nights where we share latest tech, latest questions you have for everybody, or anybody who wants to take the mic and speak about anything in the space. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Is that a metaverse or no?
That's in Gather Town, not in the metaverse yet.
Okay, all right. How about you, Z?
So for the first part is a screening process, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know, one of the I don't know what else to add to. Let me think about this. I think overall, you know, it's getting a little bit more niche. You know the right skill sets and your actually what you have done in the crypto space or Web3 space is very important. I think those are things. And in terms of the work from home thing, this is definitely one of the biggest interesting part, right? Like, because right now because through the pandemic, a lot of companies are just recently embracing this. Even the traditional company industry are trying to find ways to make this work. And then Web3 here with even faster information, more information, how do we make it work? I I don't think we have a exact solution yet, but a lot of times it's really just let everyone know that you're going to spend a little bit more time doing a lot of learning from each other, talking individually, spend some time to get to know people. Because there isn't that physical space where you can run into people so and so. So that serendipity is not there. So you have to make that effort to connect to other people yourself too, right? Company is going to create those places for you, create those chat rooms, create those events, but at the same time, I do start asking candidates to be more mindful, like, hey, you can just reach out a little bit more proactively each week, at least talk to a couple people, so you can also feel connected with the company as well.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sinlin Z. I mean, you guys has provided a lot of insights, being in the industry itself. Now we have ended our webinar. It's already 12 over here in Singapore. As promised from the beginning, we're gonna pick 2 winners. Each of them will walk away with 1 NFT. So Z, Sinlin, who maybe ladies first. Let's go with Sinlin. Sinlin, would you like to pick a winner for today's webinar?
I would say I have yet to scroll through all the questions. I'm not sure if we can do that after or we have to do it instantly.
Or maybe which question kind of stood out for you? Or the most, I don't know, yeah.
Let me just take a few seconds to scroll through.
No worries. Then Z, do you have someone in mind already?
Yeah, I think Steve C, he kind of asked you questions, Spartan Labs and stuff. That means he's done enough. He's done some research and everything. So it's cool, man. Good job.
Congrats, Steve. Steve, so great. Our marketing team will reach out to you to I guess, give away the NFT. Congratulations, Steve. Sinlin, do you need a bit more time?
For me, I think I would give out to someone that asks more about learning in terms of resources, what resources is available, because this is where, if you're keen and this is where you start asking questions. So I would say Trevin, who has asked multiple questions, I think. The other one regarding like Luna as well. So I would like to give that to Trevin.
Trevin. Okay, congratulations, Trevin. Okay, and that comes to the end of our webinar today. Thank you so much for your participation. I hope to see you guys again on the next webinar. Again, Grid Search. We are a search firm headquartered in Singapore. We specialize in hiring within crypto, blockchain, and Web3. The market is tough right now, but we continue to work on this space, and hopefully, some of you can work with us as well, and then we can help hiring managers find good candidates and helping candidates find great jobs themselves. So stay tuned. We will have our next webinar coming out in Q3. Dates are yet to be confirmed, but we'll send out EDMs to all of you. And I hope to see all of you again the next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for hosting. Thank you.
And
guys.
thanks Z, thanks Sinlin.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Bye.